y'all, welcome to Thread Quarters. Greetings to one and all, whether it's your first time or your second or third time dropping in with me. This channel is about cross stitch, quilting, and the menagerie of things that I make. Most of the time just a mess. But anyway, first of all, I just want to say thank you to all 50 of the little junkies out there that have subscribed to my channel and have been following along in my maker's life. If you're not a junkie yet, go ahead and smash that subscribe button or whatever the kids say these days so you can follow along. Maybe if I get 100 subs, I can be like, Mr. Quilt Junkie, I'm gonna need a Quilt Junkie jingle. It'll probably be a blues song about how I spend a lot of time ironing, but it's never any clothes. So, first of all, where'd February go? Who ate February? I feel like January is 74 days long, and then February is like 12 days long. But I think a lot of that is I got a little bit of sidetracked. I had just like this wild hair that went up and was like, let's just reorganize your whole sewing fabric stash. That'll be so much fun. And so like about maybe 2 hours in, I had to tap on Jack's shoulder and say, hey, I need some storage solutions. So he built me a little unit that goes under my cutting station where I could go ham, and it's beautiful. It holds 12 containers that are all the same size, shape, uniform. They're labeled. I needed to, and it all started because I was looking for some fabric that I thought I had, and I didn't have it, and it was for my parents' pillows. I thought I had more background fabric for that, and I couldn't find it, so I was pulling things apart looking for it. Have y'all ever hid something from yourself? Me, yeah, all the time. I also had a slight derailment because I went to my Joann's. There is kind of a feed on my Instagram at the Quilt Junkie. I kind of went on my journey through Joann's, which I don't know, maybe Jenny in Publix just like its own channel. Long story long that you didn't ask for. Like they announced the Friday before I went that they were closing just 300 or 500 stores, I guess, but now it's been updated that they're all closing. They're closing, that's all there is to it. Which then prompted like a plan to destash in my mind. So I'm going to be listing some things that I know I'll never use because it's either batik, I don't have space for it, I have a different solution for the same problem. I've even got some quilting templates in there that are curved. I know I have a set of those, which I got in this quilting because it is very few curves. They're like completely avoidable, so I don't want anything to do with that right now. And so it's just kind of taking up space, and I feel like if someone else could use it, that'll be good. So I will be having that on Instagram. If you're interested, you could head over there. It'll be the Quilt Junkie Unload is going to be the handle, so it's going to be separate from my normal page. But while I was doing all that, I finished the book I was listening to. So usually when I'm in my studio, I've always got something in my headphones. It's usually a book. And I was listening to Onyx Storm, which I don't even know how I got involved in that. Yes, I do. It was a BNS. Fourth Wing was a Black Needle Society book club. And then I found out it was a series. So I listened to the first and second book, and then the third one just dropped. And so I have learned that I'll read anything, and I don't really have like a type of book I like. I like series. Basically, if it's a series I'm in, which then got me hooked, not hooked, but like jumped in on A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is a series of 5, and I'm currently on the last book because, like I said, it's about fairies, and it's very, very fantasy, and it's like its own world, which I love a good world build, but it's a little smutty, which is not really my taste, but here I am in the 5th book because I need closure. So I've been listening to that nonstop, and all I can think of, like when I've been cleaning and stuff, or I was quilting the saguaro cactus quilt too. I was quilting that this weekend and I was listening to that, and all I could think is every time I had to like snip a thread or have a problem, I would be like, a cord of threads and needles, or a cord of threads and scraps, or a cord of scissors and whatever. So anyway, that's why I titled this video A Cord of Threads and Needles, because that has been in my head nonstop. Spent so much time invested in building the world in my mind and like the characters and realizing the names. And if y'all have read any fantasy, the names are weird. And so like you have to go back and really commit some space in your mind for the names of characters in fantasy / romantasy or whatever that is called. So drop some book recs in the comments below because I will be on the hunt shortly. As per usual, let's start with cross stitching and then we'll move into quilting and then we'll wrap up with final thoughts and prayers. As far as FFOs go, fully finished objects, I have 0. I know, you're very surprised, but post a poll up for my my box of finished crap, and I posted a few and let people choose what's going to be my next fully finished item, and everybody selected mittens, which I forgot. I am in my studio surrounded by design boards and I did not grab one. So anyway, this is mittens, and there is a frame, a custom frame being built for this off Etsy. So put that in the plans pile for March because that's my plan. And then I did have, if you remember last time, I set a goal to finish my Sandlot stitch, and mission accomplished, people. Look at that. Love this. I think I have a frame that'll work for it. So check mark for that, goal met. Another thing that I count as a finish because this is my channel, and if I make the rules, I had a page finish on the burrow. I'll pop a picture in this one because this is a full coverage and this is only at 4%. So anyway, that is a page finish and then some. So that's pretty good. As far as whips go, of course, the burrow I had a little bit more stitching on, and then my Dirty Annie's Morticia's second line had a birthday, and so I pulled her out and got quite a bit of stitching on her. I don't remember how many days. I'm looking at my Notion over here to see if I can get a monthly total. I think it was like 4 or 5 days. This says 2, so that ain't right. Straight up, that ain't right. So here's where she's at. I really just worked on the cart wagon. I don't know what you call it. But that's where she's at. I will probably keep this out for Mardi Gras. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. This right here, this black thing is not part of the chart. I was trying to figure out if it was just a misprint on the chart that I'm just now noticing, or if it was a Sharpie. But this is like a perfect 90-degree angle. I don't think it was a Sharpie. Regardless, that's not there. He's not playing a snorkel in the middle of a second line. So anyway, that is what's happening. But so like, I think this one's me. This one's obviously like Jack. That's how he dances. And then like we have just a number of friends that you could just sub in there, and that's what they look like during our second line. So love this one. I'll probably, like I said, since we've got Mardi Gras coming down the pipe, I will probably work on this again. That's also a paper chart, so I don't know where percentage wise I'm at on that. Okay. And then the next one that I knew I was going to spend time on was my medium dog sampler. That is a memorial piece for my dog, Sunny, that passed away last year. Tomorrow will be a year, so This is his. And this says we're at 40%, right under, but again, orange is not my jam, but that was his collar color. So we're rolling with it there. And then one of my friends, Debbie, she sent this in a package, which I'll show you during haul, but I wanted to just shout her out right here. Look at this pickle. I'm kind of a big deal. Love it. If that's wrong, I don't want to be right. Okay? Okay. And then, of course, can't forget my daily double, my Aunt Kay's mother's tree. Getting down into here has really been like such a breath. And so usually what I do is like I'll work on this dangling part or the like southern part one day, and the next day I'll put in a row. So my Notion is totally drunk right now and says this will be finished by April. It won't be. It will not be. So I don't know why it's saying that. I probably fat fingered, like instead of 106, I probably put like 1006. And so it thinks I'm way further ahead. It's been less stitching, like I said earlier, than normal. I've been in my studio a lot, and it's probably because of the weather. We've had, I have the fan on right now because it's hot as hell. But last week we were in like the 12, I think it was a low of 12. Is it been in the 80s since? Yes, it has. I'm not made for the desert in which I live because it's way too hot. So I like to be in here when it's cold. And especially when I'm wrestling a quilt because it's hot, it's heavy. There's like a lot of, I know this sounds crazy, but it's a lot of moving when you're binding a quilt. So I get a little sweaty Betty going on. That's why I think that my numbers are kind of low in the cross stitch game this month. Yes, as far as plans go, for next month I will continue my daily double. And then it is Texas Independence Day on the 2nd. So my Texas stitches will come out. There's only 2 of them, but one of them is my full coverage piece. That's the flag, which I'm feeling pretty motivated to do and work on because of how good that page finish felt with the burrow. So if I can ride on that high a little bit right into March, that'll be good. I forgot to work on our anniversary piece last month, so that's real go me. And then I have another little small called God Bless Texas. And then I have a finished piece that I would like to FFO, and it's like the Texas State pillow that has a couple of blue bonnets on it. So I'm thinking that I will pull that out and go ahead and turn that into whatever it's going to live as for the rest of its life. So all of those Texas plans, and then I'll try to still touch my like monthlies, you know, like Sunny sampler. I'll try to remember our anniversary sampler. My focus though is that I have arrangements with a one coffee, wine, and stitching time. Instead of doing our smalls exchange through the Black Needle Society for the Downton retreat, we're just gonna go directly with each other. I've charted her a special little secret thing, and I just gotta stitch it down and then get it in the mail. So the mail. This is once again hallelujah because it was put in the mail for me by one of my friends, Tana. I had a personal shopper at Stitch Away. She went to Stitch Away and went shopping in the annex for me. Tana basically called me on FaceTime and was like, hey girl, what do you need? So I have some haul that, look at this bag. You know it, you love it. It's the keepsakes bag. So I have her to thank for this. And it was very fun because she was basically showing me the things that she thought I A, would like, or B, had heard me talk about and thought that I would need them because she knows I live in a stitching desert. So, I mean, that was awesome. It was a very good time for me. Keepsakes was awesome to let me pay over the phone and everything. through an Instagram phone call we were having. Their customer service is top notch. But the first thing she got me is this is the Mouse King. If you know, I love some nutcrackers. This is from December Stitches. Y'all, they're front and back, okay? It's a mouse butt. I can't wait to stitch that. She picked me up one of these Wonderland Crafts frames. They're magnetic and they hold the kits, the Mill Hill perforated paper. They fit right in there to hold them so your hands don't cramp, which mine always do on the little ornaments. And then she got me another tacky bill for, I have 2 mirrors going right now, so that's awesome. I can just drop one in here. This looks like the Declaration. It's not, but I'm gonna put this one with my Queen of Freedom. And then I asked her to grab me some just regular kind of beige 28 count for Jack's stocking. I started my stocking last year and did mine on 28 count, so I felt like they should probably be like sort of the same size. So this is what I asked. She knew I was looking for this, something very beige, just like him, to put his stocking on. So thank you for that. And then the rest was just kind of like walking around and showing me, hey, I know you're interested in stitching on some Fox and Rabbit and some other brands. I'm really on a journey to see like what fabric is my favorite, because I feel like when you find your fabric, you're more drawn to stitch on the project. And I'm very much in my I'll stitch on whatever the hell I have in front of me place right now, but I do find myself like with Atomic Ranch, Lugana, and with a couple of like tighter weave linens that I'm like, yeah, let's pull that out, just because I like the fabric more. I like the feel, I like to pull the thread. So the first one that she showed me and I got, well, it's not the first one, I don't remember the order because it was madness and I wasn't even there physically. So the one that's on top here is Fox and Rabbit. It's a 32 count linen called Tornado. This, my friends, I don't know what I'm going to put on it, but it's vibing. I'm liking that. And then another Fox and Rabbit, which is a 36 count eucalyptus, which this is just a real, like, nice blue color. It's got a little bit of modeling, but nothing dramatic like that other one. It's a 36 count. This is Flannel Flower, and I feel like this one gets called for a lot. To me, this is neutral. Some would say the marbling's kind of wild. I say marbling, y'all, because I'm a meat scientist, and that's what we call the little flecks of fat in the ribeye muscle that makes a steak, choice, prime, whatever. But I think the proper term for this fabric coloration is modeling with T's, and I say it marbling like it's meat. So, welcome. Anyway, that's that. And then, so that was my haul from Keepsakes. And then she knew I was looking for this. Look at this. This is Sue Hillis. And I kind of want to stitch a hot dog, like a huge hot dog on a sweatshirt. Like, look at the lady in the hot dog cart. Van bus like this too, just a huge meat fork with a frank on there. Look at that. That's hilarious. So anyway, we'll see. But thank you, Tana, again, a million times, y'all. And Tana just launched a shop online. So excited for her. It's the FeistyNeedle.com. I put in an order yesterday. I'm so excited for her, and I just wish her all the best and all the best and all the best and all the best, because that takes some cajones. I get it, girl. I hope it all comes together for you. So we're rooting for you. I can't wait to get that order. So I'm thinking I'll That'll be my hallelujah for next month. I'm sure it will be because I already got a shipping notification, which is Johnny on the spot with that. We'll continue on to quilting, but if you're not here for that menagerie of madness, then you can see yourself out, and I will catch you in the next one. Go make something cool. Bye. Okay, for those of you, the rest of the cool crowd that hung in, this is going to be the quilting part of the program. I have finished 4 folios, 3 baby blankets, and a unicorn pillow. They all have been shipped off. I'll pop in some pictures of the things that they've all been put out into the world. I did also make a couple of keychains for some friends. That's all been put in the mail, so USPS. I do have one of the folios I made. I made one for me, so I kept it, and then I made one for my Minnesota friends, Janelle, Tana, and Debbie. And they're all kind of matching, basically different fabrics, like inverted fabrics, but this one's mine. You can see that a little better. I stitch it. I don't know. My previous tags were sew-in tags, which I liked better, but the price was righter, if you will, on these. But, so this is one of my folios. I did not make this design. I have tweaked it a little bit. This is Tiger Lily's design, and if you're looking to get in the folio game, I highly recommend following her tutorial. It comes with a video, which is awesome, and she slows things down very much. But again, this is just the one that I made this time to match. So I have the embroidery scissors on the outside, and then this pinkish peach reverse of it, 2 zippers, and then 2 pockets. Just waiting to accept some projects, you know. So make that happen. So I made 4 of these, and they have been delivered, luckily, safely. And one thing I did add to this, the only thing I would say that this lacks, but it's a very easy fix, is I put a tab here on mine so I can hook up like a luggage tag in here, because when these sit so beautifully in my project library, it's grown into a library. It's okay. I can see what's in here without pulling it out and like disrupting the piece of the library. And then I like to hand stitch my binding. Maybe one day. I doubt it, but I like those big fat stitches. So I hand bind. Yes, I do. Kate's pillow sham that has been quilted, put together, and basically just needs to be hand bound on the back. Again, my style is to sew on the front and then flip and sew to the back. There's something very satisfying about hand sewing. So if you ever find yourself wanting to punch a coworker in the throat, start sewing or stitching. It'll change your outlook. But anyway, I got a few other things. So it's not really haul to me. It's like supplies, semantics, you know. But so I got this. This has plans, but this fabric is awesome from Riley Blake with Hugh Cabot, called Back of the Shoots. I will cut this open for you guys to see, because I think what's cool about when you get a layer cake or a pack of 10-inch squares, you're getting a piece of all the line, right? So you're gonna have a good mix. All the colors, the saturation is going to be the same. They're all going to match. But the cool piece is you get mixers, focal prints, you get a little bit of everything. And it's the best place to start, in my opinion, with a fat quarter bundle or with a jelly roll, which is 2-inch strips, because it's all put together and it matches. So like it takes out the like, does this go with this? Does this go with this? That decision making can sometimes be crippling, because you're like, does it match, or do I just want to get started? So I'm telling my mind that it matches. Or do I like it, or do I just recognize how much time I have invested in this decision making for this project. And it's been 44 days and I haven't even started sewing one stitch. So I think that sometimes if you remove the color matching, then you can get to your favorite part. Now, if like pulling colors and that design piece is your favorite part, then hang in there, do it all. For me, my favorite part is cutting and piecing. I really don't even like the quilting, but it's a necessary evil unless you just want to have a mountain of quilt tops, which if you saw my quilting whip parade, it still happens. But I like to kind of jump in and get going. So sometimes I just use a something that's already put together for me. So in this case, this will be a layer cake that is put to me. I don't know, layer cake is specific. This is called a 10-inch stacker. I think layer cake is a term probably trademarked by Moda. And so since this is not a Moda product, this is called the 10-inch stacker. It's the same thing. But whatever. And then two, another reason I like this is because if you've got something like particular that you want to make, so like my friend wants me to make something that's a Western theme, then when you hit the Googs, you type in Western theme quilting cotton and you get a bunch of stuff that's already put together. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for, how you're looking for it. And if you're a beginner, I would suggest that, at least, you know, for the first couple. I still do it. It's my favorite thing because I can just know that it all matches. But so here's I'm just going to show you some of this. So here's one blue, and you can see the cowboys are a little bit larger. I mean, they're the largest in this pack. And then you have the matching blue that goes with it. Here's the blue mixer, one of the blue mixers that goes with it. So it's pulling the same blue family. So you know without a doubt, like, boom, those are going to match. They're going to look good. Let's start sewing immediately. And then here's another mixer. It's kind of a paisley vibe, which I like. Here's the next, kind of like cream based, but you know these blues, they're all going to talk nice and play nice together because they were designed to do so. So you can have some confidence in that. And here's, you can kind of see this a little bit more. I love his color palette. This is going to be for a baby boy that may or may not have already been born. I'm not really sure. My list is my list, and I get to it when I get to it for my commissions. But so like even here, you can see there's two different browns, three different browns, but they all play nice together. See what I'm saying? So they're all friends. Friends, not twins. It works out. This brown will talk to this red and tell the blue what he said. Then you get and cross into this red. That matches. Okay. So if you're ready to dip your toe into quilting because you too enjoy geometry and profanity, get yourself a 10-inch stacker, layer cake, fat quarter bundle, jelly roll. Get yourself some pre-cuts, basically, is how they're all classified. So pre-cuts are all kind of they all are made to bundle together and work nicely. And then the most adventurous thing that you have to do is find a backing, which 9 times out of 10, you can just get yardage that matches your pre-cut. Unless you bought it on clearance or from a thrift store, but then you can just go and get you a blender or some grunge fabric and finish your quilt like that. It's real fun. You should try it. The other piece of haul I got, I'm not using my fabric scissors, just for anyone out there that was judging me like I was. Okay. This is a line by Riley Blake as well, called Fragrant Fields by Lila Tuller. Sure. But this will grow up to be a couple of baby quilts, honestly. My preference is to get down on a fat quarter bundle. This was also from my greenfairyquilts.com, my favorite, top 3 favorite places to buy online. I try to shop local as often as possible, but if they don't have it, something I'm looking for, I gotta go find it. I like to go to Green Fairy Quilts Fat Quarter Shop in Missouri Star. 5 stars for me. Look at this. I'll put this in slow-mo later. This is the kind of thing I put in stash because someone will be like, hey, can you make me a baby quilt for so-and-so? I'm like, okay, cool. What, do you have a preference? No. And so I got it. No problem. I got you covered. And then you start talking fabric with people. Usually people like get a glazed look over and just kind of like exit the conversation. So if I can say, hey, do you like these colors? Yeah? Cool. Got it. I'll send you some pics. I'll send you some mock-ups, you know, and we can go from there. That seems to be more successful than, hey, go to this website and find some fabric. These are just really pretty. And then I really like the, there's some prints in here that have words. That's just really solid advice, like laugh while you can. Plan to succeed. That's solid. Plant a tree. Die with good memories. Let's put that on a baby quilt. Probably like cut that one out. No time like the present. Man up. Yeah. Eat, drink, and be merry. That's definitely good for kids' quilts. I mean, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wasn't that Michael Jordan? Did we get rights to these quotes? Spread your wings and fly. Speaking of Michael Jordan, Space Jam anybody? Count your blessings. Classic. That makes me think of my granny. That's just kind of, I mean, look at this. This purple's making me want to plant a tree. And then like, so the small mixer in this bundle is like little pebbles, which is cute. And then the big print, which I don't usually put huge prints in baby quilts because they're just so small and I feel like it eats your real estate there. Just my opinion. But these are legit and would make some killer project bags. This watercolor vibe, I'm liking that. So both of these pre-cut bundles have plans. So they're not really stash builder. They're called supplies at this point. And that's what I got for haul that I didn't already cover in my little trip to Odessa the other day, which was pretty minimal. I got some zippers and some backing fabric for Kate's fabric that she said she didn't like. Just kidding, she just picked a different color, no problem. I had it on hand. And some fabric to replace the fabric that I thought I had, which ended up me turning over my whole sewing room looking for something that didn't exist anymore. Awesome. Plans still include the king size shams for my parents' quilt. I just need to text my mom and say, which color do you like better? My mom doesn't hate pink like I do, so she may want that kind of dusty rose color. So I'll just ask her and we'll go from there. And then I've got these 2 baby quilts and probably another Lisa the Unicorn pillow to go with those. And then I opened my calendar for March and it said I had written myself a note. Past Jenny wrote future Jenny, hey, when's the fair? Are we going to enter? If so, what are we going to enter? And I responded to myself, I'm gonna ask mom and dad if I can borrow their Big Sky Star quilt. And that's it. But our county fair is in August. I like to participate. Last year I just straight up forgot. I don't know. I guess that's why I wrote myself a note, but I forgot and then didn't have anything to enter because everything I had made was commissioned and not for like someone I could be like, hey, can I borrow that to enter it? Because in our fair, it's probably like this everywhere, but I've only entered this one. You've got to have made and completed the project within 12 months prior to entering it. So since our fair is in August, I finished that Big Sky Star for my parents in December. That counts. So I could enter that, but I may want to do another one just to get those quilt numbers up and represent. So more to come on that, and I may be like, hey guys, let's have a vote. The only other thing I had was just my D-Stash account, again, is going to be coming in hot on Instagram if you're interested. And it's not going to be just D-Stash, like stuff I don't want. So like if I make project bags and want to list them, that's where I'll list them. Because I don't want to reopen my Etsy shop. My handle for my D-Stash unload for sale items will be the Quilt Junkie Unload. That's going to be my handle there. So if you just want to kind of follow that and keep an eye out for cool stuff to come. But I think, let me reboot or let me reset myself up here and I will show you Kate's Seguro cactus quilting. The same sample. Yes, one day I'll do a studio look around because I don't know about y'all, but I love to see how other people live. I think that's probably why I watch so much YouTube, because I can see what's going on in other people's lives, to be honest with you. Fair is fair. And one of the biggest things I struggle with is scrap management after projects that have already come through the cutting table, and then I'm like, how do I manage all these scraps? What do I do with them? And I don't want to get rid of them. And I also have batting scraps out the yin yang. If you need any scraps, like for finishing cross stitch, holla at your girl and we'll work something out, because I have so many. And basically free to good home or pay for shipping. Let's figure it out, because they're taking over. Pepper dog. There's a pepper dog. Hi, bud. Watch out. What are you doing? Yeah. Okay. Hey. Nope, nope, nope. This one's not yours. Nope, nope. Pepper. Pepper. Come on, man. Okay. Good thing Kate thinks that Pepper's her dog anyway, so. Okay, so here we are. Here's the quilted version. Quilted and almost bound. Just to kind of talk through some things. So this was a multi-directional situation, and there's probably threads hanging. I know there is, because I haven't tucked them yet. But so for the cactus arms, I did some vertical quilting, and it's nothing very measured. I wanted this to have a real whimsical feel. She's 5, okay, so she is in a whimsical state in her life. And then I did some horizontal, just kind of whoop-de-whoop lines, like squiggle lines. I really should have just had her come over and done some of this. Got her a stool and let her go to town on her own quilt, because there's nothing very measured about this. And you can't really see that. And then on the edges here, just vertical loose lines to give it some texture. And again, I didn't want anything, throw the thread on the floor, on the dog. I didn't want anything too rigid, because I wanted this to be like snuggly, because she's a little girl. Then we went with basically all the leftovers from the front. Yeah. Very, very scrappy binding, which is my favorite. All I've got to do is, again, flip the binding and sew it down to the back, and then make her a label, finish the pillow sham, and she'll be pretty close to her big girl bed. This is what she chose for the backing, which I can't blame her. I love this. This is a Dot Grunge Moda. Moda's backing feel a little different. So they are not, their thread count's higher, so they feel like a poplin almost. They don't feel like a regular quilting cotton, but they're very cooling in my opinion. And living where we live, that's an added bonus. So I had the purple thinking that, well, I know it would have matched the couple of purples that were in here, but I let her choose because her sister, Rexanne, would have been on my team and chosen purple, but we don't all have the same love for purple like the normal folks in the room. So she chose this turquoise teal color. That's what we did. So finishing, this will be finished definitely within the month. This may be finished before the weekend. This and the sham. It's very close. I'm just trying to think like what we got going on. I'm gonna have some sewing time. What the hell's today? Today's January 20. Nope. February 20. Wednesday is today. So Thursday. So tomorrow night I can probably get started on binding this, but this is kind of weird angle. It's like the sorority pose. So anyway, I think that's all I've got for you guys. Plans are to just keep making cool stuff. I'll be back and hopefully same time next month. We'll see. But until then, go make something cool. Bye.